Hello friends of YouTube, it's Lorien. Finally getting around to do the viewer request series, and also just general things about me, getting to know me, my practice, any spiritual questions that you may have, yeah, and just stuff like that really. I did have a fair amount of questions. This is the first day I've actually been able to get around to doing it. I've been very busy. I apologise if I sound really croaky. I have a throat infection or a chest infection. The doctor didn't specify which means that in turn the videos are now late that I didn't do before June. So I'm really sorry. It happened after my trip away, which I won't go into detail with it here, but oh my god, it was amazing. Anyway, I apologise if you can hear some lawnmower stuff in the background. That's my neighbour, who whenever it's a summer day or a sunny day, they just get out the lawnmower. But I have, look, all the questions written down and some notes just in case. I apologise if the video skips now and again, because that'll just be me coughing my guts up, and you don't really want to see that. So let's get on to it and see what the questions have. I hope I'm able to answer them to your satisfaction, and yeah, I think this is almost going to be like a therapy session, judging from some of the questions. Really getting into me, even though I never really go into me. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let's get going. I just realised that if I did this, I kind of look like The Grudge. But anyway. There we are. So the first question is from, well actually I don't know the names, I haven't written them down, so sorry. What was your first paranormal experience? Okay, I really should have thought about these before, but I have actually written down some notes. The first word I have here is about shadow, and this was when I was, well, let's just go right back to when I was a baby. I have been told all my life that I was a freaky little child, from the moment I was born, for various reasons, and one of them was when I was in my room and my mum had the baby monitor, and I used to talk, but it wasn't just the normal babble. I was telling somebody off, and it was about when I was 2 or something like that, and my mum would come into the room and I would be pointing my finger into the corner of the room, and it wasn't just a one-off, I would do it a lot, and I wasn't sleepwalking or sleep talking, and she used to come and settle me down. And another one was where I used to do things that ancient nuns used to do. Sorry, my hair's gone all weird now. I used to do something that ancient nuns used to do, which was punish myself by lying on the floor and do a crucifix stance, and my grandma was a bit like, why is she doing that? And just things like that really. I had some weird dreams, but my first paranormal experience was when I was in my living room. Now I was a teenager at this point, and I was I'd always been, which I'll get onto later, I'd always been into weird crap. And but this was a phase where I liked to have my headphones on and I would listen to music for hours on end in the dark. Now, with it being England, it was about, I think it was dark about 7 o'clock. I don't know when it was, probably autumn, winter. My mum used to work at a theatre, and this was shortly after 2 of my family members had died, and we all lived in the same house. And she was away, and I was kind of in the living room. The curtains were open, we had the net curtains up, but there was kind of like this beautiful street lamp outside, and it was casting this light. And I was listening to something stupid like the Chicago soundtrack or something. And I was listening to all this music and thinking, oh yes, cool. And there was a shadow that went past the door, the light from the hallway. And I thought, oh, it's probably the cat. We have cats, loads of them. And I thought nothing of it. But then I was gradually aware that I had become incredibly cold, and I'm getting cold even thinking about it now. And I looked ahead, and there was this kind of black mass. It wasn't a shadow from the street lamp, and it was moving towards me, very gradually moving towards me. And it was just basically a sense of, what the hell is this? And I freaked out. It came right up to my face. And I freaked out. And I ran all the way into the bathroom, and I didn't come out until my mum came home. Yeah. So that was my first paranormal experience. Or that's what I would call my paranormal experience. The one where it was actually confirmed to me was actually only last year. I went to this, sorry about that, I started coughing. And again, I went to this magical shop, and they had this kind of psychic development course, and it gradually evolved into sitting around a table. Ooh. Sorry, it's my friend in America just decided to text me. And we put our phones, our little iPhones and things around the room, and we were going to try and make contact with the spirit of the shop. And I thought, well, okay, I've never actually done this before, it's a bit strange. And nothing really happened. My iPhone was on the wall somewhere, on a chair far from where we were. It was a very controlled environment. There was about 4 of us, nobody else. And it wasn't like we were in separate rooms, but afterwards, while I was reviewing the tape, mine was the only one that had worked. And suddenly there was, in the middle of the tape, there was a question, and you could hear our voices in the distance, like asking questions and generally being stupid with each other. And then there was kind of this very big into my microphone, and I felt every single limb go cold, and I've just heard a knock, and I don't know what that is. See, I'm freaking myself out like this. I'm into freaky stuff. Scorpios can get scared. And there was just kind of a thing where I was like, what is that? I don't understand what this is. And yeah, that was probably my first paranormal experience that really got to me. And a week later my phone died. I had to go and get it redone in Manchester, but that was probably my first paranormal experience, proper paranormal experience, which I do not want to experience again, because even though I do dabble, I'm still not over the shadow thing. The shadow thing scared me off for life. Well, not for life obviously, because I'm here, but it was before university, and all through university I didn't really bother at all. And I know I'd say, oh, I love haunted things. That house that I grew up in was incredibly haunted. I almost got pushed over the banister. That's another one, on the way to the bathroom. So that was not a very good thing. Now then, let's see what question 2 is. I had to get water. What is your favourite music? That is a very long list. So I've actually written some down. I have been known to like so many different music styles. The only thing, next door's got some kind of cartoon on. The only thing that I would say that I don't like is music without any meaning, but to be honest, focus on what I do like, and that is VAST, which stands for Video Audio Sensory Theatre. He's an amazing musician. His name's John Crosby. I've liked him since about 2004, and he's got beautiful like Native American undertones, and his lyrics are very strange, but he's got a very soothing voice, and I dreamt of his voice once, which was a very odd experience. But him, Rob Dugan, similarly, who follows me on Twitter. Oh, I was so happy. Rob Dugan, he's only had 1 album out, I think, ever. Yeah, and then I have Enya. I love Enya. It's not just the Lord of the Rings thing ever. I loved her long before, when I was about 6. I used to have Enya CDs. Yeah, it's all weird. I was actually thinking of growing out my hair. I'm thinking now of chopping it off because it's that annoying. Enigma. Yeah. So all the weird kind of new age things that you'd hear going into a shop back in the 1990s, all those. London Grammar, they're really good. Adam Lambert, I I've seen him live so many times. I've met him. Adam Lambert is perfection to me. Jack Savoretti is another one. He's an Italian-English songwriter that I've just recently discovered. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt matters that he's quite cute. I don't know what this is. Land D. Oh, Lana Del Rey, that's what I mean. I also like the music that Lorde did for the Hunger Games, even though I've never seen the Hunger Games. And also soundtracks. I absolutely adore soundtracks. Film soundtracks, composers. I actually found a 5 CD set of classical music that I used to play while I was about 14, doing loads of art stuff. So yeah, I love music. I have it on a lot of the time wherever I go. It's what inspires me, and yeah, I don't think I could really be without music. I do write some songs, but I never sing them to anybody. I just kind of write them down. Okay, next one is how I got into spirituality. And also this actually ties in with family and spirituality. And I can't remember who asked who. I know... Okay, I think Chelsea was family and spirituality, I think. But that ties into how I got into spirituality. And I'm very warm. I think I might have to take this off. No wolf whistles now. Okay, so how I got into spirituality was through my family. Well, I lived in a house with 4 generations of women. So I had my great-grandma, I had my grandma, my mum and me. I didn't have a dad, which didn't really bother me. My great-grandma, I don't really know her spirituality. I think she was just a Christian based. My grandma was very much into fairies and the nicer side of things, the sort of the playful energies, because I think she was kind of innocent herself in a way. My mother is very much into the scientific side of spirituality. She loves string theory and alternative dimensions, chakras, keys, spirit guides. She's very much into all that, but she's not kind of the typical person that you would imagine that's going round with like bells on their ears, or that is stereotypical people, or the image of them. She's very much oh, speaking of which, she's just ringing me now. Okay, so that's done. Yeah, so she's very much into all that, and she was very encouraging as to my path and exploring things like that. I mean, I don't think she would have bothered if I was very scientific, which I'm not. I do like science, I just can't really put my thought process behind it. I do enjoy science quite a bit, but it has to be kind of in baby terms for me to actually understand what's going on. I love astronomy as well, but yeah, so that's kind of how I got into spirituality, because it was all around me all the time. And one of my mum's friends, called Jonas, he was very much, he was a scientist, and he was trying to look for the ultimate source of energy. I don't know what this light is. Ultimate source of renewable energy, and he was into ozones and all this stuff. And it wasn't until last year, he was a very big influence on me, that I was told that he was actually in a coven. I had no idea. He was in a coven in Ireland, and he was into all that kind of thing. So for me, it just shows that science and spirituality are not necessarily exclusive of each other. And yeah, so I've been around that all my life, and I've been encouraged to do it. I've always I went to an American evangelical secondary school, but they were doing it in England, and they basically sat us all down saying, unless your parents are, this is true, there was a pastor, and he said, unless your parents are Christians and they're devoted to the faith, they will be sent to hell and burnt. Even your pets will be sent to hell and burnt. And I was like, well, what about the Jews? What about other religions? Oh, no, they'll still be sent to hell and burnt. And I was sat there going, this is a load of bollocks. I mean, I couldn't say it because I was very much afraid of authority at that time. No more. And basically it was about all this, and they were actually terrified. The kids around me were terrified, and I was thinking, this is ridiculous. This is all about a book. So that was kind of where I went away from religion, more into the spiritual side of things. And with the scares of the shadow and things, when I got into spirituality in a big way was when I went to New Zealand. And that was for meant to be a month. I ended up there 6 months. I came home because my mum was unwell, and yeah, it was just an amazing time. It was so freeing. I saw so many symbols, which will probably be for another video, because there were so many symbols and like pentagrams, and I met witches without even knowing they were witches and things like that, and it was just amazing. And the roommate, I call her my soul sister, because she was kind of, we instantly bonded together. Like, I have a few, well actually only one other here in England, but there was Amy in New Zealand is just amazing, and she was already into spirituality. She'd done it for 5 years, and we just kind of started doing tarot cards together. We then went to spiritualist church together. One time we pissed ourselves laughing because they started singing Fernando by ABBA, and we just couldn't. It was just hilarious. No disrespect to spiritualist churches, but if you do start to sing ABBA like it's a hymn, I will laugh. And it was just, the whole thing was so accepting of who you are, and the nature. I've never felt energy like it, of the nature in the country. It was just amazing. And the crystals, I got into crystals over there. Meditation went up 100%, and yeah, how I got into my own and experimenting with my own was when I came home after that. I looked and there was a magic shop, which is now sadly closed, and I just kind of kept going there for about 18 months, maybe even over that. And they kind of gradually formed my path, and redefined what I thought it meant to be a witch as well. Yeah, so that was how I got into spirituality and my family, and if they were spiritual. Leading on to that, do I have a spirit animal or guide that I connect with? How do I connect with them? And also there was a similar one, how do you figure out your spirit guide's name? It took me 1 year to learn my spirit guide's name. He said it to me just before I went to sleep, and I don't think I'm allowed to say or share it. No. But the first time I met him was in meditation group. I'd only just started going, and to this new one, and I was kind of sat in my chair, and everyone else was getting all these results, and I was just sitting there going, well, I'm here, if you want me, just come in. And he walked in, this tall, majestic, beautiful man that I would never even consider being my guide. You know, it's kind of like Playgirl guy. Well, not really. Just coming in and standing next to me, and he just sat very quietly, and he was topless, but with like a ceremonial dress, and he kind of sat, and he just sat next to me, and he doesn't really speak. He gives me images and things, but he actually spoke to tell me his name, which was quite good. I don't have a spirit animal. How I connect with them, it's kind of hard to think how I connect with them, because I just do. Apparently I have more than him, but I'm not really aware of them. I've only really worked with my male one. How I connect with them? Just talk aloud. They're always around. I've also had an angel name come to me, but you just talk. You understand that they're there. You understand that they're there to help you. How you get to know their name, they'll tell you when you need it. I didn't need his name to know that he was a guide, and it seemed to be rewarding me. After about a year, yeah, it was probably almost a year, he actually told me his name. So it's just a case of getting to know them, trusting with them, working with them whenever you can, calling them in to protect you, trying to tune into them as you're going to sleep, sending out a message going, hello, I'm here, you know. Every time I talk about something to do with spirits or whatever, I get the coughs. And I think it's just a natural progression that you'll go through. I don't work with him half as much as I should do, and I think I'm probably going to try after answering this question, because I realise that he's here for me to help. So yeah, thank you for that question. And in regards to their names, you can do some tarot spreads that tell you their names, but I find that if you know it when you need to know it, pretty much. Okay, so before I cough and die, it's about 20 minutes now, judging from what I've seen, so I'm just going to sign off. I will load this up later. I'll probably do this in 2 parts, because you don't want to watch like 40 minutes of me just rambling about nothing. And also I don't want to keep coughing, because it's really annoying me, so hopefully I'll be able to get some medication down me. And it's also really annoying because I can't burn my incense. But I will finish the rest of the questions. I have about 5 more. Yeah, I think about 5 to 7 more. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you want a reading with me, get in touch. If you have any further questions for me, this doesn't have to be a one-time thing. Just ask me anything. It can be personal, it can be advice, anything you want. And as always, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, not Instagram, I don't know how to do that. And yeah, just get in touch. I'm always happy to hear from people. I like hearing from people. I have a Libra rising. I always want to talk to people. So, apart from when my Scorpio kicks in. So, I'll see you later.